Hello everyone, it's Cheyenne, and for those of you who are new to my channel, welcome. It's great to see new faces. Let me tell you a little bit about myself. I am a creative artistic person, and I have been working in the beauty industry for 18 and a half years, which makes me feel really old every time I say it. And you know what, that's not going to get any better because I'm going to stay in the industry and that number is going to keep getting higher. Yeah, so you're going to see on my channel a mix of beauty stuff, which is mostly Perfectly Posh at this time, which is a fantastic company with wonderful naturally based products. If you are wanting to find out more about all of this stuff, you can go ahead and check out my Facebook page. The link is in the description bar below. But that's not what today's video is about. Today we're doing a scrapbook process layout video for my Disney series. It's been a little bit of time since my last one. Life gets busy and hectic, right? You know, it's the end of the school year for us. My son is graduating 8th grade, so there's a lot of last and final things before he hops off into high school, and we're trying to get him into this special high school that is more of an immersive experience, and it's more tech driven, and he's definitely a tech boy. So that would be fantastic. So fingers crossed everyone, and let's hope that he can get into the school that he wants to. It's almost like he's like getting into college, so let's hope that he gets the college he wants. No, it's high school, and that's crazy. But all right, enough of that. I'm really excited about that, and we should hear like any time whether or not he gets in. So that's on my mind. So all right, today we're doing the mini adventures of Winnie the Pooh. So it's going to be a Winnie the Pooh themed layout. I'm going to try to not make it too overly Winnie the Pooh. I find that with things that are just very well branded and where there's a definite aesthetic, like Disney, there's certain aesthetics that go with Disney. And I don't want every layout to be, I'm just going to throw on like Winnie the Pooh and Piglet and be done. I'm going to throw on Mickey and Minnie and be done. Like I want it to have some variation. I've got a lot of Disney photos, and I'm not complaining about that. I feel very fortunate that I'm able to go to Disney as much as I am. It is a priority for my son and I. We make it a priority. So we do without other things in order to go to Disney. But yeah, I don't want all of those layouts to look the same. And maybe you have photos from your Disney trips or something like that that you don't want overly Disney too. So I hope I can inspire you and give you ideas on how you can do your layouts in maybe a little bit of a different way. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the process. I'm going to go ahead and make this like more of a live stream. I'm not going to speed it up and do a voiceover just because it's what I feel like doing, really. And I'm going to try to make this simple. Like, not everybody has hours and hours or days and days to put together a scrapbook layout, so I'm gonna try to make this one pretty easy to do. We'll see how that turns out. So let's get started, shall we? Alright, so here we have the photos that I will be scrapbooking. This is my little guy. Clearly he's not graduating in 8th grade in this picture. This is from 2012. We went the first week of December, and it was pretty wonderful. So the queue for the mini adventures of Winnie the Pooh is pretty awesome. There's a lot of interactive stuff to help keep your little ones occupied, because there's probably going to be a lot of little ones riding this ride. I highly recommend it. Little sad that it took the place of Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, but I really enjoy this ride. I was actually able to ride it before it was open because I was a cast member there, and we were able to hop on over there before it opened to the public to ride, and that was a whole lot of fun. I love, there's the rain scene, and it's wonderful. It's gorgeous. I love it. Like, it's one of those rides I'm going to ride whether I have a kid or not. So alright, and here's some papers that I've pulled out. This was one that I found in the Michaels clearance rack. It's got some gold foil on it with bees, and I thought that was very nice, and I think it goes well with the photos and everything. And then I've got these are retired Stampin' Up! Papers. I'm so sorry about that, but if you happen to have these stacks, then these are perfect. This is from the Subtles stack, and they basically have like all the different colors in each color family, and there's 4 different patterns, and you get several of each. So I've got the So Saffron diagonal stripe. I love me a good diagonal stripe. I love a good stripe, period. And then here I've got the Pool Party script words, and I love that. I love a good script word too. A good, like, good text is really good. Typewriter text is good too. All right, had to take a drink of my iced tea because I am a Southern girl. All right, so basically I'm going to do a lot of paper layering. So I definitely think I want the photos to be across the middle with strips of these guys going on. So I'm going to go ahead and mat these together. Okay, so I am going to be like editing and like speeding through certain parts of this because there's certain parts that you just don't need to like actually watch. So I'm going to go ahead and mat these, and I'll be back. Alright, so here we go. I've matted through all of the photos. As you can see, I've added some black. So I thought that adding the black mat around everything just helped to make everything pop, and it popped off of the foil page a lot more. So, and it gives it kind of that, you know, illustration sort of effect, because, you know, Winnie the Pooh is an illustration. I love the classic Winnie the Pooh aesthetic. That was actually my son's nursery theme, the classic Winnie the Pooh. So you've got the black lines from the ink lines from the drawing. I thought that was, it makes sense in my head. I don't know if it makes sense in anybody else's, but I like it, so I'm going to keep it because I can. Alright, now I'm definitely going to need somewhere to journal. Alright, I can't write along the foil, it's just not going to work. So I'm going to go ahead over to all of my dies and pick out a die that's going to fit here nicely so I can cut it out and have a nice place to do my journaling. Alright, so here is what I decided on. I'm going to use these 2 dies. Both are from Stampin' Up! This is from the Layering Ovals. It's the biggest oval that they have. And this is from the Stitched Shapes set. And these are going to fit very nicely in together. I'm going to cut my scallop in black. See, and I'm matting everything in black. So I'm going to get this scrap piece of paper to fit through my Big Shot. You know, sometimes you got to pull out the Big Shot, right? You can't do everything in Cricut. I know that's kind of like sacrilege what I'm saying, right? Everything's Cricut. But sometimes it's nice to have a die cut there as well. You know, it's good to have options. But if you do have a Cricut, you don't necessarily need a Big Shot or a die cutting machine, because it can, it has the ability to pretty much do whatever you need it to do. You just have to have everything that you need it to do. Alright, and here we've got a scrap piece of white cardstock. Keep all your scraps because you never know when you're going to need them, right? Alright, so I'm just going to pop that there. You guys recognize those shapes? It's from my last tutorial, right? The little scrapbook process video, the Toy Story one. So, alright, here we go. Now see, this is something that the Cricut can't do. The stitching on this, the faux stitching, like the Cricut just, it can't do it like a die cut can. So, I mean, there's your pro and con. It all depends on what you're into when you're crafting, what your budget is and everything. Definitely always scrap within your budget, right? Alright, so we can put all of this stuff out of the way, and we can continue on. I'm also lucky that I have like a huge table that I'm able to work on, and I know not everybody has the space to be able to spread out like I can. But it wasn't always like this. Once upon a time, I had this little teeny tiny like table, and that's all I had to scrapbook on and with. And then as my collection grew, I needed more space to store it. All right, so there we go. There's my journaling spot, and I love it. Now, I was looking through my stamps, and I found Dragonfly Dreams. I don't know if this is still available or not. I don't think it is, but if you happen to have it. I just saw this cute little bee guy here, and I thought, you know what, I think I need to stamp him out and pop him around the page a few times. So where's that? Here we go. We've got our spare scrap paper, and let's see, I don't know if I want to do it in black or if I want to do like a gold embossing with it to kind of pop off the page a little bit more. Let's see here. See, this is part of like the process that you don't necessarily get in a voiceover. But I also don't want my videos to be like 4 hours long, because that's not fun, is it? Alright. Yeah, I think I'm just going to do it in black and then do some like watercoloring over it. So I'm going to grab my Memento ink. So whatever I decide to pop over it, it's going to be okay. Like whether I use some Stampin' Up! Markers, watercolor markers, or whatever, like the ink's not going to run. I am going to have to fussy cut these out by hand. There is a die that you can get, that you could get with the Dragonfly Dreams, and it does have a bee on it, but it's more of a bee outline. Like, let me show you. It's this guy here. So you're going to get more of an outline. There's going to be some cutouts, and I don't really want that. I want more of a solid image with these bees. So alright, since these are a pretty good size, and you know your rule of odd numbers, I'm only going to do 3. I'm going to clean off my stamp. I know not everyone cleans off their stamps in between. Some people just wipe them off. I try to take care of them. So, I mean, I've clearly invested a lot of money into my stamps and my crafting, so I want to take care of my stuff. Alright, now I think I am going to do a little bit of watercoloring, so I'm going to find my Stampin' Up! So Saffron watercolor pencil. This is Stampin', no, this is Reeves. Which might be Stampin', no, there's the Stampin' Up! Ones. Okay, let's actually do that. Since we're on a Stampin' Up! Kick here, Daffodil Delight, and I'm just going to color that in. Now, with watercolor pencils, there's a couple ways that you can choose to use them. You can go ahead and color them like a normal colored pencil. You can take a then you can take water and you can activate it, and it will actually kind of make it more of a watercolor look. Anything wet, like you don't have to just use water, which is kind of fun. You can use like a wink of Stella or something like that, so you can get some shimmer. It'll activate the watercolor so it looks more like a shimmer watercolor, which is super fun. Now I'm going to grab a Pacific Point, and I'm also going to see about Early Espresso. I've got all my pencils in together, and they're all like looking up at me. So finding the actual one that I won't. Here we go, Early Espresso. We're gonna need that guy. Alright, so I've got Pacific Point. Now I'm gonna do this very, very lightly over the wings, almost like a little shading. I don't want it to be too crazy. I want it to give it a hint of color so it looks like there's something there, like something like more reflective, but I don't want to color it solid. I don't want my bee to have blue wings, alright? That's basically what it comes down to. And I'm just going to put a little bit more just around the body of the bee, and that's going to help shade it. Here, let me bring you, come closer, a little closer, a little closer. So, alright, just a light little thing and then just a little bit more pigment right around the body. That's going to give a little bit of depth. Now I've got my yellow colored over. I'm just going to take some of the early espresso and I just want to lay in just a little bit along one side. And this is going to give a bit more of a 3D look. I am going to go back over these with a water brush, so it's all going to blend and be nice. But you can see how that's just giving it just a little bit of something something. When in doubt, if you want to amp up your coloring, just do variations of color throughout. Try to think about where the light's going to hit it. So if the light source is going to be up over here, then it's going to be lightest here and darkest over here. So that's how you always kind of have to think about it. So alright, here we go. We've got a water brush. I find that all water brushes are pretty much the same. There's not a whole lot of difference to them. So whichever one you happen to find, and if you happen to find these cheap, pick them up, because sometimes they're not cheap at all. So I'm just going to start off with the darkest and then just kind of pull it out. I'm not putting a whole lot of pressure on. I don't want to put a whole lot of water on this paper because I don't want it to warp either. I'm just activating that watercolor and just gently, like, kind of moving it over. But again, I want the wings to be translucent, so I'm not coloring over all of it. You see that? Alright. In between colors, definitely like wipe off your brush because it will pick up that color. Now it's time to do the bee. And I'm just going to go right across, and I'm going from the darkest to the lightest, just so the brown is going to get pulled over the right way. Alright, so there we go. We've got our bees colored in. It's watercolor. It doesn't have to be perfect. That's the wonderful thing about watercolor. It's very, very forgiving. Very easy for anybody to do. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and fussy cut these out, and then we'll finish putting together the page. Alright, everything is fussy cut out, and I just want to give a shout out for these scissors. These are the Tonic. Oh my goodness, I think in every video that I've mentioned these, I've called them the Fiskars ones. There are Fiskars ones, but these are the Tonic Studios Spring Cut Scissors, and these are wonderful. I always, like, my thumb starts getting sore when I'm like, you know, cutting like this. Like, it hurts with any scissors that I have. It hurts my fingers. These ones don't hurt. I don't mind fussy cutting nearly as much with these scissors. They're wonderful. So if you don't like fussy cutting with scissors like this, your traditional scissors, give these a try. They might actually be so much better. Alright, so now I kind of feel like my page is just about done. I don't want to go too crazy or overboard, but I do need a title. So I think I am going to use some of my sticker stash. So I'm going to go look and see what I got in there. Alright, so I found these Recollection alphabet stickers in this really fun font. See, I got them on clearance. I love searching the clearance rack, because especially for your stash, because you might go into it not necessarily knowing like what you're going to need, right? You're just looking for stuff to have on hand for that one day when you're like, yes, I need this, and it's going to be wonderful. And then I've got the Mambi sticks, the clear stickers, 1,122 pieces, and they've got lots of different stickers on here, but I saw some of these texts, and I think I want to add those kind of in places. Alright, so first thing I want to do is I want to go ahead and start adhering things down a little bit so that it doesn't get all wonky, because I'm about to adhere down my title, and I'm going to commit to the title. Alright, I'm just going to go for it, because at this point, like, again, clean, easy, simple page. I want my photos to speak out, but I want to showcase them in a nice, pleasing way. Alright, so I know that this is going to be over here. The bees are going to go on last. They can go anywhere. And I also pulled out, because in this series I'm doing a Mickey head on every page. That's kind of what's going to tie it all in together. So I've got a black one and a white one because I don't know exactly what I'm going to want. It's probably going to be a black Mickey head hanging out. Alright, so here we go. Actually, let me grab a piece of wax paper. Alright, alphabet stickers and wax paper when you're doing your title is a fantastic thing. Alright, so I want my title to be Pooh Bear, just because that's what I'm going with. So I'm going to start getting all of this lined up, and I'm actually going to go ahead, we've got the straight edge of my wax paper. I'm going to go ahead and have the top overlap a little bit, and you will see why in a little bit. So here we go, we've got Pooh Bear, Winnie the Pooh, Winnie the Pooh. Cuddly little stuffy all stuffed with fluff? That doesn't seem quite right. I'm drawing a blank on how all of that goes. Alright, so here we go. We've got Pooh. There we go. Oh, I love this font. I really do. I am so happy with that font. And you know what? I know that I want this on here. So I'm going to go ahead. Actually, I don't know where I want it. Do I want it up here? But then I have this big, huge spot down here. Decisions, decisions, decisions. Alright, I think Pooh, and then I could do Bear here, which I might do. We'll do them different ways. This is where the wax paper really comes in handy. Now it's a matter of what font do I want to use. I think I want to use this little guy. So, tweezers. I love these little like alphabet fonts too. Like, don't you guys? Like, they're pretty awesome. Pooh Bear, Winnie the Pooh Bear. This is what I do. I scrapbook, I craft, I get silly, whatever happens to come to me. I do tend to sing a lot. We have a karaoke machine here. We went ahead and got one for Christmas, and I love it. Like, I think it's fun. Karaoke can be really fun, whether you can sing or not. Doesn't really matter. We had some people over for New Year's Eve, and we just all like had so much fun doing karaoke. It was a blast. Alright, so there we go. We've got Pooh Bear, and then I think if we get this right, I haven't adhered this down because I want to do my journaling. Make sure I don't screw up my journaling before I do anything. Yeah, so I can actually have, you know, Pooh Bear and have that kind of like go into it, maybe, possibly. That kind of looks funny. We're gonna get it. We're gonna get it. Maybe I want it here, and then I want Pooh Bear to continue. That could be a possibility too. It's nice when things nestle, but it's also nice to know you can change it up, which is where the wax paper comes in handy. If ever you're not sure about sticker placement, pop it onto a piece of wax paper first, and then you can really see if you like the placement. Yeah, I think I'm going to like that a lot more. Alright, I'm going to commit. Ready for this? We're going to commit. Do we want there, there, there? Yeah. Let's overlap right there, right like that. Alright, so I went off the page a little bit. So now these are pretty much stuck down. It's just a matter of peeling back the wax paper to get that perfect placement. Fun little trick, right? And wax paper is pretty inexpensive, especially if you pick it up from the Dollar Tree, because, you know, everything's $1 there. There we go, just like so. Et voila, we've got the pudding. And then it's just a matter of transferring over Bear. Does anyone remember now, when my little one was little, there was Bear in the Big Blue House. It was part of Disney Junior, and he loved it. And you don't see it anymore. Like, they don't even play reruns of that. He loved it. Like, it was part of like Disney Junior, even live on stage at the Hollywood Studios, and you don't see it. You know, bears. Let's just talk bears. Paddington Bear, Pooh Bear, all the bears, all the bears. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and commit to that Mickey head right up there in the corner because I like that. I liked it kind of just peeking through. What's up? I'm a Mickey. Okay. I'm starting to get a little strange now. Let me go ahead and do my journaling and then we'll finish up. Alright, so journaling done. Now let's get on the bees and the journaling because it's not actually adhered down. I'm going to pop it up with some dimensionals. I do enjoy the Stampin' Up! Dimensionals. I feel they are not too thick. Because a lot of times when you're crafting, like, you don't need this big old thick pop dot, you know, this foam dimensional dot, right? You only need something that's just a little bit because you don't want to bulk everything up. Alright, I'm actually going to pop this off to the side. I used my Heidi Swap date stamp up there, and now we're going to go ahead and pop up those bees on dimensionals too and get them down. So I think this guy needs to be right there. That's a good spot for him. This one should be over with Mickey here. And then we've got this third one. I'm not quite sure where you're going to go. Kind of want it to be a good arrangement. So yeah, let's pop you down right there. So we've kind of got our little kind of triangles, and let's see, let's get the In the Park sticker because I thought that was really cute. I just gotta find it. At the park, there we go. That is pretty perfect for this. Maybe, possibly Pooh Bear at the park, be something like that. Yeah, let's do that. That's at the park. And then we'll do a Love Life. There we go. And this is just adding a little bit of visual interest. And let's go with Vacation. Vacation right there. There we go. All right, I'm going to call this complete. Very simple, nothing too crazy. If I had known what I was doing completely beforehand, I would have been done a lot sooner. But I think it's pretty okay. So, all right. Thank you so much for joining me on this. It was nice talking with you guys. So there we go. Nothing super overly Disney, and it's fun and it's easy, and I'm running out of things to say. So until next time, happy scrapping. Bye.